Hi, I'm from your Unspoken Truth of VTuber career video. I don't know which one that is. But I don't upload my own videos. My editor does it, and he titles and thumbnails them. Well, people on the team do it. I'm sure it was really good, though, because I was in it. Is it GEEGA Daily Vid? You mean Daily GEEGA? Probably. Anything that sounds like advice is almost definitely from the Clips channel. Because usually it's just me, like, answering a question someone had in chat. But then my editing team, like, with the title and thumbnail makes it look like it's like a big advice video or something, you know what I mean? Because people click. And then the content doesn't matter. It's just, like, me stating my opinion because someone in chat asked. But, it's just funny. It's funny to me. The thumbnail with the red toilet was an inspired choice. Look, I just let the team do whatever. Occasionally they have a title or thumbnail where I'm like, can you change this? This is not what I'm going for, you know, or whatever. But it's usually like, it's usually something where I'm like, it's not the vibe and we need to change it, but it's also I'm reluctant to because it's usually pretty funny, you know? It's like funny, but I'm like, but we can't keep it. We can't keep it. You watch the cheese clips too? Yeah, that's like the only person that regularly clips me. There's some that do occasionally, but that's the only person that clips me like a lot, and their channel's like mostly me. They're like none of those besides that guy. But I'm kind of glad for it because, you know, I've had a lot of friends have issues where like they have clippers, you know, that are dedicated to clipping like them and two other people. Clip the fuck out of them. But those people get to choose the title and thumbnail, and you can't go to them, but they're not your own editing team. So you can't go to them and be like, oh, can we change this? I don't like the vibe of this thing, or I want this to be that, or blah, blah, blah. You don't get to do that. So they can portray you however they want, right? And we all know that like people read titles and look at thumbnails and comment on videos before they've even watched more than 30 seconds, you know? So it's like so important to not misrepresent. It's okay for the vibe to be a little shifted, but like it can't be wrong, you know? And I feel like clippers of VTubers specifically do that a fuck ton. But yeah, I've seen people get really like just fucked by like clippers choosing titles and thumbnails that are like not good for that person. Oh, so yeah, in the end, I'm a little thankful that like it's just my own team. I do kind of, I'm not gonna have them change it. I do feel like when you like scroll through my clips channel, a lot of clips, it looks like when you see the title thumbnail, it looks like I made a video trying to give you advice on something, which is not it. It's just a clip of me answering a question off the dome to a chatter.
Oh, crap.
But I feel like people that don't know me at all would scroll through that and be like, oh, she considers herself highly knowledgeable on this, or that, which isn't always the case. It's just me like saying whatever I'm going to say in that moment to that question that that person asked, right? So I have this like very minor worry in the back of my mind that like people who don't know my content would look at that and think that I am trying to present myself as that, right? If that makes sense, which is never really it, because you don't see me making a single video where I'm like making it for YouTube where that's the case, right? But I don't think that matters. So I don't do anything about it. I don't think that matters. I think it's kind of like unfounded, that worry. Even if it's there, I just will it away, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, the clippers that ship people. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. You hid them. Yeah, I did the same. I think the bigger you get, the more you're gonna deal with that. Where people clip you and then post like crazed titles and thumbnails, just insane shit. But it works so well. It works so well, so I get why they do it, but I wish they wouldn't. Because if it's like clickbait chosen by the creator, then it's chosen by the creator. But when it's not chosen by the creator, it's a slippery slope, I feel. So over time, I've been like a little more grateful. Remember for a time, a lot of VTubers were getting popular from the same like 3 clippers always clipping them. And that's how a lot of like indies grew, is just these well-known clip channels. But these clip channels were like really sexualized all the time. And like someone would be playing a game and they'd say something funny and they'd make a good joke and that would not get clipped. It would not get clipped and put on that channel. But then they'd make like one kind of sus noise and that would get clipped and put on that channel. So people get the impression that that was their humor and that was it, right? Some people definitely hammed it up and it's partially their own fault, 100%. But there was no balance. There was no balance from these clippers, you know? And I'm like, you're just representing them as 100% this, which is gonna just ramp up kind of the problem for them. Looks he's still the GOAT clipper. I mean, he was one of the ones that definitely over-sexualized a lot of shit. And I know people that were getting really, like, annoyed by it.
Crap.
But they weren't gonna say it because it was a major source of, like, new people coming in. And I don't blame them for that. You know, like this person is like representing you in ways that you don't like, but they are making you famous in a way, right? Well, maybe famous is like an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. They are responsible for a lot of the growth you're getting, so treat them well, you know? Which I think objectively is not like the wrong play. I don't think either play is right. You just gotta know that you're like, you're not gonna have to deal with this shit, right? I think a lot of people were cool with it for a time, but then over time they were like, actually, I don't want everyone to think I only make sexual jokes. But they had to like pivot their brand, you know? They had to like change shit up. But when you build most of your following on that, it's really hard to like change it over time. People will kind of always see you as that, so it's tough. But I know a lot of people were like, their brand kind of started off as like the haha sus jokes thing, but I thought like regardless of that, they themselves were still like funny people. It's just that that's what got clipped and that's what, you know, got views. So they did that, and then when we go with their streams, they were also funny, like normally too. Both were true, you know? So I always felt bad when like people wouldn't see the good shit very much in them. Yeah, I always felt bad because I was like, no, they actually are funny though. like they actually are pretty good. It's just hard to tear away from that shit. Ow. Does tastemakers have an interesting role in a given community? Yeah. Yup. The joke that was beaten into the ground was the I'm say so, and then does not say so things all the time. Which is fine if you own that shit, but a lot of people pretend. Yeah. I think like there's nothing wrong with that humor as long as you actually like are that person. But I think a lot of people have been self-admitting that like they're like, I actually am not that sus. I just made the jokes for the views, and I would like to stray from that, guys. Thank you. And then they're having a hard time getting people to like adapt to that, you know. Some people's communities have adapted really nicely to it, honestly, though. It just depends. I think the people having the worst time are the ones that are like trying to get their chat to stop doing the haha bully the streamer bit all the time. Or just to tone it down a little, because it was getting, like, actually mean. That shit is, like, impossible to undo, because once you let people disrespect you and have fun doing it, they will never stop. They just don't stop. This is not just a streamer thing, this is, like, true in real life, you know? But I do agree that, yeah, when people are trying to stray away from the bully the streamer thing, it's tough. It is. And I do know some chatters that can't handle those chats, so they don't really kind of avoid those streams because of it. I don't mean light bullying, I mean like the straight disrespectful vibe. Like a little banter is a little banter, but that's not what people usually mean when they're like, oh, I can't stand this. They're not talking about light banter. Ooh. I don't know, like I know, and I knew for a long time that if I, especially when I was growing and was much smaller, ow. I knew that if I like did a lot with like sus jokes and I let like chat bully me and all those things, that I would probably grow really fast. But I just felt like that would burn me out. You know, like some people can do that and be fine with it, which I think honestly is fine. That's just a preference thing, but I just knew, like, I just don't like being disrespected, even if it's as a bit. Maybe it's where I'm from. Maybe it's where I'm from. We come from the respect economy, you know, the type of neighborhood I'm used to. But yeah, you just don't do that. And I know I wouldn't be able to stand it. I would get burnt out, and it just would not have been sustainable for me. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing any of that. And I feel like I kind of ended up growing like despite that, because it's much better nowadays, way better. But early on with the VTuber community or the viewer community, when you're growing, it felt like if you weren't doing that shit, you weren't going like hard into the bully me meta or the like treat me super sexually meta, then you just wouldn't grow. There were a lot of Twitter crash outs, I remember, in like 2021. There were a lot of Twitter crash outs of people being like, no one watches me because I don't talk about my tits and I'm really upset. You know, because it was kind of true at the time. I think nowadays it's much better. It's so much better. But yeah, I remember some solid crash outs about that stuff. They weren't wrong. They were just, I was just like, okay, we'll just make like good content and stick through it, buddy. So I'm glad the super sexual VTuber meta isn't as common. think it's still just as common. I think they're just more of everything else, if that makes sense. That tiny town where he killed that guy by sitting on him? He's fine. He's just extra short now. I made him even shorter. It's what he would have always wanted. He would have always wanted that.